Hello, everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of Master Your English podcast. I'm Lana, and I am beyond excited to kick things off with a topic that's near and dear to my heart: learning English for the first time. Whether you're just starting out or have been learning for a while, this episode is all about giving you some solid advice, positive examples, and a whole lot of motivation to keep you moving forward. So grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's dive right in. Now, I know that learning a new language can seem overwhelming. You might be thinking, where do I even start? How can I make progress? Is it possible for me to get good at this? I'm here to tell you that yes, it absolutely is. And I promise you, the journey you're about to embark on will be incredibly rewarding, no matter where you are in your learning process right now. So let's start with the basics. First off, if you're learning English for the first time, don't pressure yourself. I know it's easy to look at people who speak English fluently and feel like you're behind. But remember, everyone was once a beginner. Even the most advanced speakers had to start somewhere, and that somewhere was probably very similar to where you are right now. I'm going to tell you a little story about my own language journey. When I first started learning, I was terrified of making mistakes. I thought, what if I say something wrong? What if people laugh at me? But guess what? That fear was only holding me back. The moment I embraced making mistakes was the moment I started to really learn. Because here's the thing, mistakes are part of the process. In fact, they're essential to the process. Think about it, how did you learn to ride a bike? You probably fell a few times, right? But with each fall, you learned what not to do. And eventually, you were riding like a pro. And that's exactly how language learning works. The more you practice, the more confident you become. And speaking of practice, let's talk about how you can really get things moving in your English learning journey. First, make it a habit. Just like brushing your teeth every morning or drinking your coffee, make English a part of your daily routine. And I know at first, it might seem a little hard, but it doesn't have to be complicated. You can start by watching TV shows or listening to podcasts in English. Pick topics that interest you, whether it's cooking, sports, or even fashion. When you enjoy what you're learning about, it doesn't feel like a chore, and you'll learn so much faster. Now, let's talk about vocabulary. The key here is consistency, not perfection. You don't have to know every single word, but focusing on learning new words every day, no matter how small, will add up over time. Try learning just 5 new words a day. By the end of the week, that's 35 new words. Imagine how much your vocabulary will grow in a month, in a year. And trust me, as your vocabulary expands, so does your confidence. You'll start to feel like you can have real conversations with people, and that's such an amazing feeling. Now, I want to tell you about someone I know. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah moved to an English-speaking country and started learning the language from scratch. At first, she could barely hold a conversation. But instead of giving up, she started practicing every day. She would listen to English music, repeat the lyrics, watch movies with subtitles, and even talk to herself in English. Yes, talking to yourself is totally okay. It's a great way to practice. Anyway, after a few months, something amazing happened. Sarah didn't just know more words, she could actually use them in conversation without feeling scared. She gained so much confidence, and it wasn't about perfection, but about progress. And guess what? Sarah now speaks English fluently, and she's even helping others learn too. So what can we take from Sarah's story? It's simple: consistency and confidence. Don't be afraid to speak, even if you make mistakes. Every time you try, you're learning something new. And don't forget, language is about communication, not perfection. It's okay if you don't know every word. The most important thing is that you're trying and learning. All right, here's some advice for when you're feeling stuck, because trust me, everyone hits a wall at some point. When you feel frustrated, take a deep breath and remember why you started. Think about how much progress you've already made. Celebrate the small wins, like understanding a song lyric in English or being able to ask for directions in English. Those little victories add up and make a huge difference in the long run. Also, don't forget about the power of community. Join language learning groups, whether online or in person. Surround yourself with people who are on the same journey as you. Share tips, resources, and even struggles. You'll find that learning becomes so much more fun and motivating when you're not doing it alone. Finally, I want to remind you of one of the most important things. Be kind to yourself. Learning a new language is challenging, but it's also an incredible opportunity for growth. You're learning to connect with the world in a whole new way, and that's something to be proud of. So before we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with this. There's no rush. Progress takes time, and that's okay. Enjoy the journey, celebrate your small wins, and remember that every step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to your goal. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe, share with a friend, and leave a comment. I can't wait to dive into more tips and advice with you in the next episode. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll catch you next time.